Yes, yes, the Casanovians. Yes, yes, the Casanovians. Right, boys. I wanted to do this live stream indoors because I wanted to speak for a relatively long time today. And I want to go super deep on belief, character traits, helping you identify what's actually holding you back from living your ideal dating life, attracting your ideal woman, and becoming the version of yourself that you're actually proud of being. I think that when guys first stumble across this world of daytime cold approach, it holds a mirror up to who they are. Yeah, there's nowhere to hide when you're putting your balls on the line and forging that new identity through the fires of adversity, all those insecurities, all of those doubts, all of that trauma that you might have experienced during your formative years. It all bubbles to the surface, and that fear of failure screams so loud in your mind. Yeah, you see women that you want to speak with, whether it's on the street, at the cafe, at the bar, and all of a sudden there's this kaleidoscope of excuses and doubt. You feel paralyzed, like stuck to the spot. You know what you want to do. You know that you want to go over there, approach her confidently, like fucking James Bond. But in the current reality that you're existing within, we already know how the story plays out. You experience failure in advance. And what I found to be true is the reason why we fear failure is because we judge others who fail. Write that down because that's an absolute banger. The reason we fear failure is because we judge other people who fail. So when you want to go over and talk to that pretty girl on the street, at the cafe, at the bar, it's not just the internal struggle that you're dealing with internally, but there's this external concern of what are other people going to think of me? What if other people think I'm weird? What if I tell my friends about daytime cold approach and they ostracize me from the tribe? That is a primitive side of your mind kicking in. Because if you were to approach a woman during the caveman days and she said no thank you, it would have meant your DNA wasn't worthy of replication. And then if the entire tribe found out you had been sexually shunned, then you would have risked being ostracized from that tribe, which would have equated to biological death. But the beautiful thing about learning this skill in the modern era is you don't need to be concerned with those things anymore. Because if you understand we fear failure because we judge others who fail, and if you continue that train of thought, what you'll quickly realize after putting at least 100 direct cold approach reps in, viewing the reps as a reward, reminding yourself nobody's allergic to a compliment. Rather than going out there to get things from people, go out there to give. View daytime cold approach as the most aggressive form of self-development. When you first get started, forget about dates, phone numbers, happy endings. Don't worry too much about being liked or receiving approval. That will be there and that's normal. Don't judge yourself too harshly for whatever you're feeling in the moment. But if you can reframe what these reps actually mean to you, you're going out there to improve yourself. You're going out into the field today to do what the majority of men are never going to have the balls to do in their entire lives. Every rep, every win, it allows you to crescendo your way towards confidence. What is confidence? Confidence is optimism in the absence of certainty. That's another banger. Write that down as well. Confidence is optimism in the absence of certainty. So you might not be certain that you are good enough right now, whatever that means. It's a loaded phrase. You might not think you're good enough to approach women. Maybe you think you're too old. Maybe you think you're too short. Maybe you think you're the wrong race. Maybe you think you're not rich enough. Maybe you think you're not ripped enough. Maybe you think that your childhood or past experience in toxic relationships have condemned you to be an incel for the rest of your life. Whatever your reason as to why you can't do this exists, the most important thing that I can give you is belief follows action. That's the only phrase that you could possibly need. Forget about learning lines, memorizing routines, forget about listening to all of these manospheric commentators who are telling you it's looks, money, status. Belief follows action. There is a big discrepancy between the online world and the real world. And all that matters in the real world when it comes to female attraction, because understand, men become aroused through their eyes, women become aroused through their ears. This is what men today do not understand. They think that women think the same as men, and they think that female attraction is all about the visual. Oh, it's all about the way that I look. Looking good is an open. Looking good might buy you 20 seconds of a woman's attention. It doesn't sell the product entirely. What sells the product is who you are and not what you have. And that's why I make you boys aware. It's not what you say. It's not how you say it. It's who you are when you say it. This is an identity game that we're playing. We're not chasing a goal. We're chasing an identity. We prioritize behavior over belief, because by taking the action, belief will then follow. So this notion of we judge other people who fail, when you have a zoomed out perspective, you will quickly realize after doing your first 100 direct cold approaches, doing what terrifies you, dive bombing into discomfort, acting in spite of fear, you'll have this beautiful, what I like to say, epiphanova, where you realize no one gives a flying fuck about you. If guys see you approach, they're either jealous or they respect it. If a woman sees you approach, she respects it. She wishes it was her being approached. Because when you cold approach a woman and you do it properly, you're not coming across as creepy or like some brain dead pickup artist who's saying and regurgitating the same shit as every other guy in central London. When you are able to connect with your most authentic self, you are operating in a place of abundance where all you want to do is give. Shower this woman with admiration, because like Zan Perion says, beauty needs a witness. When you operate from this place of abundance, because the person who has the most cares the least, he who is most prepared to walk away has all the power. Remember, seduction is sales. When I said to you before, looking good is an open, it doesn't sell the product entirely. I could have the best looking packaging on my men's shampoo. It could look the absolute part. I could put all of my money into marketing on the front end of the sale. But if the product itself is shit, if when I use it in my beautiful luscious hair, it causes my hair to fall out, I don't give a fuck how shiny the packaging is. Internally, the way that it makes me feel, the effectiveness of the product is not there. And this is why you need to get it into your minds. Looking good is just an open. It doesn't matter the car you're driving, the money in your bank account, the penthouse that you're living in. If internally you still feel like the ugly duckling, if you still feel like the ugly duckling inside, if your internal hasn't caught up with your external, if you don't see yourself as the world sees you, you will become repulsive to women. And the reason why I know this, the reason why I can sit on these live streams and say with absolute certainty that all of this high value man garbage, which is being fed into the minds of men, intelligent, well put together individuals who are subscribing to doing jaw exercises or thinking they need to be Dan Bilzerian-esque lifestyle in order to attract smoking hot women. The guys who are in my private network, the Entourage, like my private coaching clients, they already fit into this criteria. They already look the part. They've already got more money than they know what to do with. They've already got the lifestyle. What they lack is the most important aphrodisiac, which is the way you feel about yourself. And if you can understand this, if you understand when it comes to attracting your ideal woman, it's 93% in a game, then you can start focusing on what actually matters. And then all this thing is, the thing that we call game. Game is simply learning how to get what you want. Game is the transfer of certainty. Game is simply learning how to deliver the value that you've built to the world. The analogy that I use, you can have all of the shiny materialistic trophies. You can have the beautiful slicked back hair and a symmetrical face and the 6.5 pack. If you still can't go over and deliver your value to that beautiful woman, then it's like working your bollocks off to buy a Lamborghini and then being too scared to drive it. And this is why the information which is being distilled online by commentators Men today, and you might be one of these men, you are being brainwashed by the brain dead into chasing the wrong things. Oh, I'll be worthy when I'm making this much money. I'll be worthy once I've got that new pair of shoes, when I'm wearing that shiny watch. And yeah, it might attract attention, but usually it's the wrong attention. Because what I've found to be true, coaching my guys inside of the Entourage, is this sensation of scarcity, of feeling that you're in a constant place of lack. Maybe that's going into a room and comparing yourself to every single guy in there. That's what I used to do. Every single room I used to walk into, I would look around, I look at other guys, and I would be like, that guy's got bigger arms than me. That guy's probably making more money than me. That guy's probably got a bigger knob than me. And this would go through my mind. And then when I wanted to go over and approach a woman, it wasn't me approaching anymore. It was the voices in my head. It was that scared, insecure, lost little boy who desperately wanted to be wanted, but who had this kaleidoscope of reasons why he wasn't enough. And that will constantly continue to haunt you until you get into this place of constant abundance. Abundance, it's not always having, it's knowing that you can have. Scarcity is the thing which makes you repulsive. Have you ever met people and they just give you the ick? There's just something about them which feels off. These people, they live in a constant state of scarcity where in their mind, everything's out to get them. Oh, it's us versus them. It's this battle of the sexes, war of attrition. They feel as though people are out to get them. They want to take things from everybody. Their compliments to women are not genuine. It's, I'm going to say this thing in the hopes that you like me more. I'm going to give you a compliment in the hopes that I can get something from you. All of this notion of high value man, be a bad boy, be a player, it's just a smokescreen for insecurity. Guys are looking for creative ways to emotionally armor themselves because they're terrified of not receiving love from the feminine. You don't need any of this bollocks. What you need to become is a transcendent man, where you do what you want to do because it pleases you to do so, because you no longer need anything from anybody. So if I want to hold a door open for a woman because it pleases me, then I will do that. If I want to text a woman 2 seconds after getting her phone number, I will do that. If I want to take a woman that I've just met to an expensive meal at the Shard in London because it pleases me and because I don't need anything from her, I don't need approval, I don't need emotional support, I don't need any gratification via favors. I do what I do because it pleases me to do so. That is when you win the game. That's when you become what I would term a 0% man. Fuck being 1%, 0%. It's when it's like when you checked out of the game entirely. The goal is not to be better. The goal is to be different. So how can you become a version of yourself that is so wickedly unique that nobody else can compete with you because you're playing a completely different game entirely? I go way deeper in all of this in my Most Fuckable Man course. So I'll link it in the comments below once this live stream's finished. If you've not done so already, download my Most Fuckable Man course and access the module titled Mindset Mastery. I go deep on inner game, rewiring your entire internal belief system, becoming the most fuckable version of yourself externally, but more importantly, internally. Because that's what this is a game of. It's a game of certainty transference. It's just the same as sales. Sales is a transfer of certainty. Game is a transfer of certainty. Seduction is the transfer of certainty. It's all within. It's all inside of you. And what I've realized is there's a really great quote by Naval Ravikant, and he said, "Desire." You know, that emotion of desire where we want things, where we want that woman, we want that approval, we want that car, that watch, that bank balance. Desire is a contract we make with ourselves to be unhappy until we get what it is that we want. But then Eckhart Tolle counters this and he says, there's two things that make people miserable. It's not having what you want and it's getting what you want. And that is the human condition right there. If you understand that, then it will allow you to escape the rat race, the hedonistic helter-skelter of chasing more. I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if. This is specifically true for daytime cold approach. When I'm working with my beginner clients, and they say to me, you know what, Kristian, I'll be happy. I'll be happy when I can approach. Then they can approach. Then guess what happens? They find a new thing to get pissed off about. They get a new thing to want. I'll be happy when I can start having conversations. I'll be happy when I can start getting phone numbers. I'll be happy when the girls stop flaking. I'll be happy when I start going on dates. I'll be happy when my dates start converting. I'll be happy once I get a girlfriend. I'll be happy once this relationship's over. I'll be happy once I get married. I'll be happy once I get divorced. On. So what I've found to be true, I'm not trying to present myself as some enlightened monastery living monk, but I do see the game of cold approach as spiritual. The game of life, I believe, is spiritual. I believe we are spiritual beings enjoying a human existence. And on the human plane, I appreciate we're all animals responding to incentives. The world is motivated by self-interest. We all do just want the best deal for ourselves. But for me, if you're constantly delaying your sense of fulfillment, it's like chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. After studying a lot of spiritual teachings, reading a lot of religious texts, the religious texts specifically, they all agree on the same principle. And it's the principle that the kingdom of God is already within you. Like, you've already got everything that you need. This is a game of unlearning. It's stripping back those layers of social conditioning so we can connect with our most authentic selves. Like, dude, you know, when you see a woman strutting past you on the street, you already know what you want to do. You already know what you need to do. You've already got that primal instinct inside of you that knows to follow, to act on impulse, to follow that biological tug to say hello. But the conditioning, the social conditioning, the bullshit that has been programmed into you from society, your childhood, the media, it's all conditioned to make you feel as though as you are is not enough. And then you'll go home and maybe you'll watch some advertisements. You need to get a new pair of Nike sneakers. You need to take this holiday. You need to buy a McLaren. You need to be making 8.5 figures. You need to build a body like Chris Bumstead. And then maybe, if maybe, then you'll be enough. But the way that I live my life now, and it is a way of being that I recommend you consider, is living for an audience of one. It's rejecting anything from my reality that no longer resonates with me. And doing everything that I do on a daily basis, I do it because it pleases me. And everything that I do it for the feeling that it provides me with. So my typical day in the life out here in Bangkok is wake up, go to the Muay Thai gym, train like a savage for 90 minutes, finish at the Muay Thai gym, go to the hardcore powerlifting gym, train with absolute monsters, come back, create content, maybe create content outside, get sunshine, spend time with my girl, listen to some inspiring piece of literature. Usually it's reality transurfing. People ask me, Kristian, what book do I need to improve my social skills? Reality transurfing. Kristian, what book do I need to make more money? Reality transurfing. Kristian, what book do I need to feel whole? Reality transurfing. And the crazy thing is, no one will read it. No one will read it. Like, people don't even read anymore. You can get the audiobook for free on Spotify. I listen to it pretty much every single day. I re-listen to it because, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the best books that's ever been written. I don't have any affiliate link. It's just had such an instrumental impact on my life, and it will explain so many things to you. And one of the things which I got from reality transurfing, which it's been one of the biggest epiphanovas when it's come to cultivating healthy relationships with the feminine, with myself, with money, with time, with my family, is reducing excess importance. So if at the moment you're saying things to yourself like, I need a woman to feel complete, or I need this approach to go well, or I need to make money, I need this certain amount of money, or I need this car, I need this watch, I need this house. The more you say things like I need or I want, it's the same way of saying I don't have. Then that creates an emotional imbalance, which puts you into a state of lack. And then when you approach that woman, you're operating from a place of lack rather than from a place of wholeness. And it's from that place of wholeness where we win the game. Abundance. Abundance is the antidote to all of your anxieties, because the person who has the most cares the least. Imagine right now, and this is the most practical piece of advice that I can give to you. Imagine right now somebody wired $30 million into your bank account. Tax-free, it's yours. You get up your online banking, you wait for the little icon to load, and then the screen flashes, the window opens, and boom, 30 mil in your bank. Now, my first question to you wouldn't be, what would you do with that money? It would be, how would you feel with that money? Because it's that what we're actually looking for. It's the feeling attached to the acquisition. Like, how would you feel if money was no longer an option? Imagine how carefree, how generous, how light, how non-needy, how abundant you would feel. That's the energy that we're looking to tap into. And you don't need to have $30 million in your bank account to have that feeling. You simply imagine what that feeling would be like. You tap into it. You imagine the sensations, the feelings, the smells, the places you would go to, the people you would spend time with, how you would carry yourself. All of that is already inside. The kingdom of God is already within you. But most people have been conditioned, and it's not your fault. The conditioning that you've been given is you need the thing before you can feel the thing. No, you feel the thing first, and that allows it to come into your life. It's like Neville Goddard talks about. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's a feeling. This is a game of feeling. It's 93% in a game. Sure, I can teach you the technicalities of cold approach. I do that with all my guys. They get incredible results. All of the results that I get from my guys who work with me one-to-one, you can see some of them in the description. I've also got a video on my channel, which is like student in-field approaches. So you can actually see me in the field working with my client one-on-one, which most coaches in this space, they don't do that. You never actually see them in the field doing any coaching. Sure, they might bring up a few testimonials here and there, showing a few screenshots. Maybe they'll just talk about a client experience. Evidence has got the loudest voice. I let my clients do the talking for me. I let my results do the talking for me. I can teach you the technicalities, but when we work together, that's not what I'm actually helping you with. This is what guys think. They think, oh, I'm going to work with Kristian. He's going to help me approach. He's going to tell me what to say, how to stand, how to dress. Yeah, cool. That'll take me about 27 minutes to get through that. The real work that we're doing together is building you into a transcendent individual, because you become successful through osmosis. Proximity is power. You've heard it before. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that's why when I came into this space, I understood it wasn't information that people needed. It was implementation, but it wasn't just coaching. It was community. And that's what I built. That's what we're building inside the Entourage. At the moment, we've got 25 active members. 25. Most people think the Entourage is this big Telegram group of 750 weirdos that they'd rather not be associated with. No, I say no to more people than I say yes to. And this isn't some bullshit marketing statement like, oh, you have to be the right fit to work with me. No, it's actually fucking true. Because I'm operating from this place of wholeness, because I don't need anything from anybody, because the integrity of my community is more important than my bank balance. That's why we've got a tight-knit, intimate community, because I only want to work with people who, first of all, I know, guaranteed, I can 100% get results for. But it goes deeper than that. I only want to work with people who I like as individuals. I only want to work with people who raise the collective consciousness of the overall network up, because ultimately my reputation is attached to your success. So I leave the taking anybody on as a client to the other bozo charlatans. Like most coaches in this space, they'll work with anybody because they're in a place of desperation from a place of lack. They don't vet people, and that's why they get shit results, or they don't even show their results. The integrity of my community is more important than the number on a screen when I check my bank balance. I already live my life like I'm a millionaire. I'm just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. That's what abundance, this is what I'm talking to you about. It's that sensation, the feeling, living as though you've already got the thing or things that you want. That's how we win the game. That's how you become irresistible. It's the guys who are constantly chasing the next shiny object, the validation, the approval, the gratification. They're on that constant hamster wheel, and they think the kingdom of God is external, and that's why they are perpetually miserable, and that's why they need to keep chasing dopamine, quick fixes, toxic habits. As soon as you realize you've already got everything inside of you, this is a process of unlearning. We use daytime cold approach to connect you with your most authentic self, because it's the greatest vehicle I've found to achieve this. It's like active therapy. Sure, we can talk about all this stuff until the cows come home, but when you're actually out there in the field, when you're surrounded by like-minded action takers, when you're in it, there's nowhere to hide. It's the ultimate equalizer, right? It holds a mirror up to who you are. All the fears, all the self-doubts, all the traumas, they will bubble up to the surface, and that's exactly what we want, because it's like active therapy. Yeah, I view daytime cold approach as therapeutic. I used to think I was confident before getting started with daytime cold approach, because I spent a decade of my life as a magician, right? Practicing and performing close-up magic. At 13 years old, I had what I believed to be severe social anxiety. So I viewed close-up magic as the most reliable, effective way of taking a sledgehammer to my social anxieties. But then when I did my first direct cold approach in Leeds City Centre on the 4th of July 2020, I realized what I had was situational confidence. Take away my deck of cards, take away the familiar objects, and I still had that 13-year-old scared boy inside of me. So by embarking on this unorthodox odyssey of daytime cold approach, by learning the skill, teaching the skill to other guys, traveling the world, dive bombing into discomfort, taking difficult action, constantly choosing the path of most resistance and forging your new identity through the fires of adversity, I've now come out on the other side. And now, at 27 years old, with all of my experiences, with all of my failures, with all of my doubts and anxieties and insecurities and phases of depression and hating myself and working shit jobs, making shit money, coming out the other side, I truly feel transcendent. And now when I'm working with my guys, I know exactly what they need. And that's why I do get results fast. As far as I'm concerned, I get the best client results in the industry. I've got guys in my network who, after working with me, started their own cold approach YouTube channels. I don't think testimonials come any stronger than that. I've taken guys who are in their 50s who thought it was game over for them. One of our guys, Graham, in his 50s, never had a serious relationship in his entire life, spent 3 decades terrified of approaching women, got back home within a week of working with me, got himself a girlfriend, and the two of them recently celebrated their 1-year anniversary. And I always use Graham as an example, because whenever a guy applies to work with me, or maybe you're on the fringes right now, maybe you're one of those guys who you're following my content, you know in yourself that what I say is effective. You've already seen the testimony, you can see the social proof, you already feel as though you know me as an individual, but there's still that little element of resistance there where you're thinking, will this work for me? Am I too old? Am I too XYZ? The story of Graham I use to elucidate that it's possible once you've taken the action. Yeah, Graham did 100 direct cold approaches with me, and it's no reason why he got himself a girlfriend, because one approach with me is worth about 30 approaches on your own. And it's not just the time that we spend together, it's the time with the rest of our guys inside the entourage. So not only do I give you individually tailored, in-person coaching, which is one-to-one. I don't do any of that group coaching shite because you're a unique individual and you deserve a unique coaching experience. But on top of that, you also get invitations to our worldwide Renaissance retreats. Yeah. So not only will you be working with me in the field one-to-one, but you get invitations to come and link up with me and the rest of our guys in different locations all across the world. So we can cold approach together, go to the gym together, go out for dinner together. Nobody else does it like we do inside the Entourage. I said it so many times. I am not building a business. I'm creating a lifestyle. And it's a lifestyle that I want the right people to be part of. We've got 25 active members. 25 members made the cut. The rest of them, they weren't what I'm looking for. I'm not saying they're bad people. They're just not my people. And that's the whole point of what I do. I make these videos to attract my people and repel the rest. Yeah. So if you fuck with me, you fuck with my energy, you're like, do you know what? There's something different here. I fuck with this energy. I want to explode my dating life. I want to live in a constant state of romantic abundance. I'm sick of playing it safe. I'm sick of watching my friends settle down, have children, start families, feeling as though I've missed the boat. I'm terrified of getting to the end of my life and dying alone. I'm terrified of dying with my music still inside of me. Then you might be one of my people. I don't know. We'd have to have a conversation, but it's deeper. It's deeper than day game. This is about becoming abundantly transcendent, becoming a connoisseur of content. So stop taking advice from bullshit commentators. Oh, you need looks, you need money, you need status. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but they don't define who you are. It's balls and it's irrational confidence. It's delusional optimism in your own capabilities. And stop complaining so much. One of the Stoic principles from Marcus Aurelius in Meditations is don't complain, not even to yourself. And look, sometimes my emotions get the better of me. I'm not perfect. And sometimes I can find myself in a fit of anger, of complaining about something. Maybe you go to a restaurant and the food is being delayed. In that context, I actually think it's effective to complain because you want to bring attention to the poor service. But where that becomes toxic is when you're still talking about the delayed food 1, 2, 3 days after the event. Because all that's doing, the more you complain, the more you're putting that negativity inside of you, the more you're getting yourself more pissed off. And then that's the energy you're leading with, right? It's not just the way that you're talking to women. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. The thing that I make you aware, you do not have dating problems. You have got personal problems which manifest themselves into dating problems. And the biggest personal problem that I see amongst all of the high achieving men who I work with is the grappling with a perceived lack of self-worth. At your core, you do not think you're enough. And it spills over into everything that you do. The way you interact with colleagues at work, the way you interact with people in the social scene, the way you cold approach, or maybe you're not cold approaching because your perceived lack of self-worth is too high. Again, prioritize the behavior over the belief. Make your actions align with your ambitions. Imagine that you were already the most fuckable man on the planet. Imagine you had all the money in the world, all the women in the world, all the power in the world. Imagine how you would feel then. This is why I call it delusional optimism, because dude, this is what I did with myself 4 years ago. 4 years ago, you already know my story. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I couldn't get a boner with new women. I hated myself. I hated the reality that I was living. I hated the man that I'd become. I was living in a grotty apartment. I was working a dead-end job for minimum wage, commuting back and forth between Leeds and York in the winter, getting pissed on with rain, looking up to the heavens thinking, fucking hell, we were made for more than this. And I hit my rock bottom, and it was the rock bottom which allowed the renaissance to happen. Yeah, that rock bottom renaissance where I'd hit complete rock bottom. So all I had was delusional optimism. All I had was optimism in the absence of certainty. All I said was, I'm going to make this work or I'm going to die trying. That was my mindset. Yeah, it's either I'm going to make this happen or I'm going to die trying. It's like burning the boats. Yeah, burning the boats, reducing eliminating all other options. And I started making videos online. People would comment on my videos. You're ugly. You're a 4 out of 10 at best. Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting girls' time? Oh, it's a pandemic. You shouldn't be doing this. All of that feedback from all of these commentators. But I already understood, whenever people throw hate at you, it's never about you. It's always about them because it holds a mirror up to who they could have been. right? People want to see you do well. They don't want to see you do better than them. But once you understand how the world operates, when you understand we're living in a simulation, nothing is real, right? Nothing is real. Perception is reality. Even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it. You can decide whatever life path you want to follow. Read the 48 Laws of Power, read The Art of Seduction, read The Laws of Human Nature. All of Robert Greene's books are amazing. Read Reality Transurfing, dive into religious texts, understand the teaching behind the words. It's not about historical facts, it's do these teachings serve me? All religion should be a bridge which takes us closer to the divine. And that's how I view day game. It's a discipline that takes me closer to the divine. When I was first learning daytime cold approach, I'd go out into Leeds, London, York, Manchester, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Cambridge, Oxford. When I hit those hardcore cold approach sessions, that's how I entered that state of godly frequency, where I no longer needed anything from anybody. It was this natural narcotic, this emotional high, which made me feel alive, which made me feel electric, like I could do anything. And it's been learning the skill of daytime cold approach, building this unshakable core rock star confidence, which I've then transferred into all other areas of my life, building the confidence to leave my 9-to-5 job when I had £3,000 in my bank account, having the emotional bravery to walk away from relationships that no longer serve me, having the audacity to create this personal brand on YouTube, documenting every single thing, warts and all, showing the rejections, being raw authentic, showing the peek behind the curtain. This is how I actually am, showing you boys everything. That now there's nothing anybody can say to me which is gonna even remotely offend me. Oh, Kristian, you're a shit coach. Oh, Kristian, you're ugly. Oh, Kristian, you're weird. You're unhinged. Yeah, cool story, bro. At this point in my life, it's like saying, Kristian, you're Chinese. I'm just like, damn, that person might be suffering. I just have pity for these people now. So listen, as far as I'm concerned, nobody does it like I do it. I don't have any bullshit $997 course to sell you. I'm not trying to get you into a $50 a month school community. I've got one really expensive product. It's called the Entourage. It's my inner circle. It's my brotherhood of like-minded action takers, guys who I travel the world with, guys who I cold approach with, guys who I mentor personally. So if you've got this far in the video, then it's clear what I've got to say is valuable to you. The thing that I make you aware, information is not valuable. Information can only take you so far. What you're lacking is implementation, is feedback, is accountability, is that kick up the arse of somebody who's telling you what you need to know rather than what you want to hear. You can watch these videos for entertainment. You can watch these videos for the next 3 years of your life, but nothing changes until something changes. You go out there, you cold approach, you try it on your own. If you're struggling, you get in contact with me and you understand when you're applying to work with me, I'm not just teaching you how to cold approach. I'm teaching you how you can become the version of yourself who cold approach can work for. This is an identity game. I hope all of that has made sense. So if you've enjoyed this live stream, drop it a like. If you haven't enjoyed it, unsubscribe, don't engage, don't watch the content. There's loads of other creators you can go watch. And yeah, big year in 2025. So for those of you who don't know, I'm not taking on any new coaching clients until early 2025. So even if you're slightly interested in working with me, joining our community, doing life with me and the rest of the guys, then you can reserve a spot on our waitlist. There's a link under this video. Click it, that'll take you to my website. Then you can click the nice shiny yellow button which wiggles. I was really proud of that animation. It's nice, like you can click on that, you can reserve a spot on our waitlist, and then you can see all the testimonials. If you go over to the homepage of my channel as well, I uploaded like over 40 hours of free content the other week. So all the courses, they're all available to you. All the information is free. I charge money for implementation. So yeah, if you're ready to hit that next level, you know where I'm at. I do these live streams every single day. I really enjoy doing them. I'm gonna put a new video together, which is gonna be uploaded later on today. It's gonna be a complete raw beginner's blueprint for daytime cold approach. It's gonna be an absolute juicy one, packed to the rafters with value. Anyway, keep an eye out for that. Love you. I think I was gonna burp. Oh, get in there. Speak to your boys tomorrow. Love you. Mwah.